Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is Drew Dodger, and for the last couple months, I've been doing a podcast with my good buddy, Jacob Herron. While we love film in general, with us being artists and all, we have a fascination with animation, and we decided to start an audio podcast after we both geeked out over the animated Transformers movie. We're not perfect, we've gotten names wrong, and we don't always agree on movies. But at the end of the day, we try to bring an informative and entertaining show to you all, and we'd like to welcome you to The Cellcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me this morning is a man who got lost in a clock the other day, Jacob!
Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce our co-host, a man very similar to our main protagonist in our movie. Can't get someone's last name right.
Gee.
Welcome, Drew.
I wonder.
Anna.
Flabbersham, flabbergasted.
Who knows? Whatever.
Yes. How are you doing this morning, Jacob?
I'm doing very well. It was kind of a rough morning. Kind of a rough morning on a Tuesday morning when we're recording, or Tuesday night we're recording. The morning was kind of... I was supposed to go to a 5:30 in the morning Bible study. Yes, there's Bible studies that early. And
created by morning people.
Yes, very morning people.
Death to morning people. No, I'm kidding.
Hey!
I'm teasing. I'm a night owl forced to be a morning person, so I'm allowed to be grumpy.
I understand. So, I woke up, the night before, I went to bed, and had a splitting headache. And so I went to bed thinking it would go away. Well, my pillows aren't exactly the most fluffiest anymore. They're like sleeping on rocks. So I get up.
How old were they? How old were these pillows?
Probably less than 6 months old.
Those were some cheap pillows.
Yeah,
if they died in 6 months.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they weren't the best investment in.
Right.
Either way, so I wake up. I've got a splitting headache. I wake up before my alarm like usual, and my head's hurting. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna miss it because my head hurts. And so I switch my alarm, go off at 7. I wake up after that, still a headache. I go to work. I go to work an hour and 15 minutes early just to go there, get some Advil, get some caffeine, get something to eat, in which I only paid $3 for a meal because we have points we can earn, which was awesome. And I breached the 100 points, and you get $5 off whatever your next purchase is. I'm like, rock on! And so
these points are worth less than a penny.
Somewhat.
Okay. It's retail, I understand.
Yeah. So, be like, yeah, and, the day, was good after that. Be like, I use my essential oils. Yeah, big shout out to Essential Oils with Superman Blend, because that stuff works fantastic. Thank you, Miss Wendy. But other than that, the day's going pretty good. I did a little doodle for Jacob's Daily Art Corner of what I would probably not say really good, not a really good Wolverine, but it's what it was. There was a very interesting thing that happened the other day. So, I'm on Facebook, I get off work, and I'm just relaxing. I don't want to go home.
And relax and acting all cool.
Yeah, somewhat. So, I
think I'm quoting something.
Yes, you are.
Not very well.
No, not really, but it's okay. So, I go to the, where the break area is. I'm just relaxing and get on Facebook, and someone's popped up Facebook Live. And all you hear is a rustle, and it sounds like a weed eater going off. Apparently, someone was Facebook Living in their pocket. They didn't know they were Facebook timing.
Okay.
Facebook Living, or whatever it's called. And so, it's literally, like, 30 minutes of this guy apparently doing weed eating, and the comics section is just lit up with like everybody in their comments and the jokes and the running jokes, and it's like, oh, Casey, the guy who was doing the accidental Facebook Live, it's like, oh, he's going inside. He needs a refreshment. Oh, he's going out this door. Because we can hear it, but we can't see it. But it was the most entertaining Facebook Live I've ever seen. And then he came on later, it's just like, proper, where you guys can see him, and it's like, this, I'll be like, yeah, this is what I was doing. Be like, the comments were great. Be like, and I had the hardest time trying to do this for real for the first time. It's like, yeah, fun times, great comments, but it was absolutely hysterical. So shout out to Casey Claiborne. So yes, that's what my week's been like. What's yours?
My week. It's been a week. It hasn't been too bad. I mean, I've been playing some 14, getting back into that. Now I've got a little bit of time. Got my white mage up to 57. Waiting for the next patch. Playing a little Final Fantasy VIII on the flip side. So, waiting on whatever's next. When I'm not watching something. Speaking of which, what have you been watching this week?
Oh, what have I been watching?
Worst segue ever.
No, that was good. That was really good. A couple of years ago, for those who be like, no, the TV show on CW called Supernatural. A couple of years ago, in their 13th season, they decided to do something they've been wanting to do the entire time. Do a crossover with Scooby-Doo. And they did.
Okay.
It's called Scooby-Natural. It's basically where Dean and Sam are main characters who actually chase down and destroy monsters and demons and werewolves and, vampires and the whole bit. They do it for real. In TV world. So, they defeat this, what they describe as, a Barney kind of character. It's a green lizard monster. And they destroy it. And so they're in this pawn shop. And so for their reward, what does Dean do? He's like, ooh, there's a TV. I want it. So they walk over to me, Dean sets the TV up. He turns it on. Apparently it's haunted. So they get sucked into the TV. And where do they land up? Scooby-Doo. So the entire adventure of them is they have to get through the episode in order to get at the TV. The only problem is, whatever was haunted, the Barney figure, has haunted the TV show now. So instead of, your normal, it's the real estate guy in a mask. No, it's a real ghost. And so you get this Scooby and gang, at a completely other element. Right. And it is hysterical. Be like, you get every little cliche. It's hilarious.
This would be the Scooby-Doo from Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Yes.
Not anything after that.
Yeah, it's the original. Be like, now, granted, they're using the more modern cast.
Well, yeah, because that's easier voice actress to get a hold of.
Yeah, but definitely we have Frank Walker who's doing Scooby-Doo and Fred.
Yes.
But other than that, it's like, man, that is such a great episode. I actually downloaded it on my iPad and my phone because it's just that good.
Yeah.
And now, would I say that's a very family-friendly show? Not so much.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, because the entire time, Dean is trying to make moves on Daphne the entire time, which is funny as can be. But it's the one that you could see coming, but it's hysterical at the end. Velma winds up kissing Sam, which is hysterical. It was like, whoa, okay, I saw that coming. But it was great. So, yeah.
Did she have her glasses on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently she's got this...
I can just see that standard joke about her glasses getting knocked off and then not being able to find it. That would be an excuse.
Oh. No, there's a lot of hijinks and a lot of, innuendos thrown out. It's hysterical. I would definitely say if it's, be like, oh, this sounds like a great episode for my kids. No, don't do that. If you know anything about Supernatural, don't. But otherwise, it's a great episode. It's done very similar to the kind of the blend of the newer style of Scooby-Doo and the old style. So it's just perfect. And I laughed my head off for the entire 45 minutes of the episode. Other than that, I really haven't seen anything. So what have you seen?
You know, I'm backed up on a lot of shows. Oh, because that's my life.
I was kind of afraid for you, buddy, when you said you're backed up. It's like, dude, you need to, go somewhere real fast?
No. No, nothing even that gross.
Okay, good.
So, I have not watched, and I know you wouldn't be happy with this, but I have not watched Evangelion this week, or I haven't watched it in like 2 or 3 weeks. I needed a break.
Understood.
Most of the other anime I've been watching, I've also not watched. Because, it's been a little bit of a busy week.
Mm-hmm.
But when I prioritized my viewing,
mm-hmm.
and remembered that there's a certain show whose last season is coming out in November.
Yeah.
When a certain streaming service launches.
I
thought, this needs to be the priority so I can catch up and be there day one. When the new season of Star Wars, The Clone Wars, starts back up. So I have been watching... When I restarted it, I finished off season 3. I started season 4 this last week.
Okay.
Watching a fight underwater between the Separatists and the Republic on the planet of Mon Calamari.
Okay.
But it's interesting so far.
Sounds a bit fishy.
Touch fishy, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's pretty much all I've watched this week, besides our movie.
Okay, so you watched it on Netflix, right?
No, because it's not on Netflix anymore.
Oh, so where do you watch it?
I actually own the Blu-ray box set
of
Star Wars The Clone Wars.
Okay.
I bought it when it was on sale, like 4 or 5 years ago, thinking, I'll watch the show.
And it's set on a shelf collecting dust.
I got through 3 seasons.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
2.5 seasons. And for whatever reason, in the middle of 3rd season, I kept hitting that, okay, I'm done wall.
Yeah.
Every time I tried to watch it, despite the fact everyone said, you gotta get through it because season 4 and season 5 are so good, and no.
Oh, yeah.
Don't hype it. Because if you hype it, I'm gonna get overhyped. And if I get overhyped, it's not gonna be as good as I think it's supposed to be.
Right.
And besides, the fact that I know all the episodes up until this point, I found out it's only up to season 3 where you run into this problem. Up to season 3, all the episodes are not in the order they happen in.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
A large portion of them actually are, but you have to move stuff around.
Yeah.
So I had been watching, in this last attempt, I was watching them in chronological order.
Yeah.
And I got up to, and I went to go check this, I thought, okay, what's the first episode of season 4 I need to watch chronologically? Because StarWars.com does have the list.
Gotcha.
Of the episodes in the canonical chronological order.
Canonical?
Canonical.
Okay.
It's not a word you know?
No.
It means it's canon.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So I finished, last episodes I watched were this one and this one. Okay, so I'm starting season 4. How does season 4 go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's in order. Oh, season 5 is in order too. Oh, season 6 is in order. I don't have to worry about this list anymore. They're all in order. Yay! So, yeah. That's what I've been watching, essentially. I'm through a couple of those, so.
Cool.
I have noted one thing in the news.
Okay.
I showed it to you the other night, and I've now since forgotten it.
Okay. Shame on you.
But if I remember correctly, it was essentially a list of all the classic Marvel cartoons that are going to be on Disney Plus.
That's right.
And while I don't remember all of them, and I can't... Well, I've got the power saver and airplane mode on my phone right now, so I don't use up any battery. But, so I can't actually look it up right now, but I do remember a couple. Couple of good ones. For instance, 1990s X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
1990s Spider-Man.
Wow, wow, wow.
There were a couple of these Spider-Man shows from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, okay.
But unfortunately, not 1960s Spider-Man, which is odd. Weird. I'm sure that's coming. It's just not there yet. So, yeah, there's a lot of the classic Marvel shows that we watched as kids, at least does look like it's going to be on there.
Okay, cool.
What news have you found?
Oh, a plethora. Let me get to it.
A plethora?
A plethora. All right. So, there again, I get all my information from the animationmagazine.com.
Mm-hmm.
So,
your go-to source for where we steal our news from.
Yeah, exactly. So, apparently, Warner Brothers Animation Group has apparently proclaimed the rights to do a certain film.
Oh?
Funko Pops.
Why?
I have no earthly idea.
Here's the thing.
Apparently they've confirmed a Funko movie project that is in the works currently.
Problem one, which is the same problem I have with Funko Pops in general.
Okay.
They're the same model with new paint.
A lot of them are. At
least the head is, in most cases. Yeah, I know there are some differences, because of licenses. You have to do some things differently to make it look right. But for the most part, they're big rectangular heads with big black eyes that stare deep into your soul. So that's problem one. I'm thinking the character designs are going to look too much alike.
Yeah.
This would not be a problem when one considers, the Lego movie had a lot of characters or minifigs that look a lot alike. They pretty much all have the same silhouette.
Yeah.
But they were able to do something creative, and they were able to make original characters out of the characters. They made very little original character models for that.
Agreed.
Off the top of my head, Wild Style's probably the only one they built from the ground up.
Okay.
Who is the Funko Pop movie going to be about?
Okay, so, good question.
Because I know of only one original character they actually own, which is in their logo.
Yeah, so apparently the essential cast of this pop culture favorite world will include, obviously, DC characters, My Little Pony, Care Bears, Darth Vader, and Hellboy.
Hang on. How are they getting the licenses to all of this?
Don't know. Now granted, they just announced this, so...
Warner Brothers is putting this out?
Yes, Warner Brothers is.
How are they getting Darth Vader? Because here's the thing. I can understand the DC people, because DC is owned by Warner Brothers.
Right.
I can understand Hellboy, because I think that film franchise is owned by Warner Brothers, or at least that's who owns the current license.
Possibly.
The My Little Pony? Hasbro is still the highest bidder. If we're being honest.
Yeah.
Darth Vader is owned by Lucasfilm, who in turn is owned by Disney, who in turn does not want to help Warner Brothers in any way, shape, or form. Now, really want to impress me. I kind of figure out, okay, you get Darth Vader in there, it's a cameo appearance. You get a quick line from James Earl Jones, and that's probably going to take care of everything. It doesn't even have to be on screen. You don't have to call him Darth Vader. Just say, oh, that really weird guy in the mask. And you move on. You really want to impress me. Put Marvel in there. You've already got DC. I want a DC Marvel movie.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be next to impossible, but I want it.
Oh, that'll be hysterical.
If we have to go through Funko Pops, so be it. I would prefer Lego. I really would.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the Lego versus Marvel DC... Lego versus Marvel DC? The Lego Marvel versus DC game that I want to happen that they could legally do if they could just get Disney and Warner Brothers to play nice for 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they've done it before in the comics, so...
Well, and that is the other weird thing is Marvel, all the Lego video games are made by Traveler's Tales, or TT Games, which is owned by Warner Brothers Interactive. And there are 3 Lego Marvel games. Mm-hmm. And only one of them came out before Disney bought it. So you think they would still have enough of a license to say, okay, let's make a story based on Marvel vs. DC, because that would be a heck of a lot of fun. And let's face it, you want to play with the amalgam characters. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. I have gotten us off topic. Continue.
It's all good. It was a very fun rant, though.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep. All right. So, apparently, just recently, the 45th annual Saturn Awards recently took place. Mm-hmm. In which, for most of you who don't know, these awards honor motion picture, television, home entertainment, live stage performances. Apparently went down this previous Friday and was hosted at the Avalon Theater in Hollywood and was streamed across several online platforms.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing advertisements for it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. So,
because I don't normally watch award shows.
So, for Best Animated Film Award, and we talked about this, so you can just give me, who won?
Tell you what, we'll give you 5 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, to honestly think about who could have possibly won from last year the Best Animated Film.
We'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Oh, who cares? It was Spider-Man. You knew it before I even said it.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won the award, obviously beating out The Grinch from Universal. Well, DreamWorks, How to Train Your Dragon 3, The Hidden World.
Sad,
Pixar's,
but understandable.
Yeah, The Incredibles 2 by Pixar.
Sad, but understandable.
Disney's Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Understandable.
And
not sad. I knew why.
And Pixar's Toy Story 4.
I know why on that one too. But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Spider-Man won again.
It's like we said, it's because Spider-Man broke ground.
Yeah.
No one else had tried anything like they tried in any way, shape, or form.
I wouldn't say they broke, they literally shattered.
Pretty much. They broke through the barriers they broke the barriers into a spider web of debris. Just trying to get another pun in there. That didn't work well. But yeah.
Alright. So, a certain movie we just recently reviewed, like Your Name, apparently its follow-up film will be airing at the LA's third annual Animation is Film Festival. And
that is called Weathering with You, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, that apparently will be the third film showing. And so I'm pretty sure we don't have listeners yet who are listening from LA. So,
well, I did see a download from California.
Really?
But I think I know who that is.
Okay.
So it's probably not in LA.
Okay. So,
I'm being nice and not saying the name on the show, but I guarantee you know who we're talking about.
Okay.
Came to Bible study.
Oh, yeah! That's right.
I have a feeling that's who that is.
That's a possibility, yes. So, if you are in the LA area, the screening will be at the TCL, thanks, for Haircuts for Dogs.
You don't have a dog.
Nope.
And despite the fact
I have long, fluffy hair.
Despite the fact you act like a dog, you don't go to the vet to get the haircut.
Anyway.
That will be cut out, I swear.
Sure. Kidding. Anyways.
Might get released separately, but
yeah, separately.
I haven't released that other thing yet. So
yeah, that'll be like that. That'll be a day coming, which is like, oh, this is gonna be fun and embarrassing.
Actually, I have an idea on that, but we'll hold off.
Okay, so as Drew said earlier, the movie is called Weathering with You, and it'll be screened at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood on October 18th through the 20th. This will be the third film they're showing. Mm-hmm. And to give you a little synopsis about what this film be about, this film follows a rural high school boy who runs away from Tokyo. Got a theme there.
Well, it's Japan. There's not many other places they can run away from.
That's true. Where both his...
It's the center of the stinking country.
Yeah, that's true. So apparently he runs away, and apparently the weather starts turning gloomy. Things change when he meets an unusual orphan girl who seems to be able to manipulate the weather. That's a synopsis in a nutshell.
Yes. I have a question. I don't know if it says in there, but I have a feeling I know the answer.
What'd that be?
Is the sub or dub?
It didn't say.
I.e., for those who don't know, is it Japanese with English subtitles, or do we have an English voice track yet? Probably, considering the timetable, it's going to have to be sub only because they probably have not had time to do a dub.
Probably not.
An English version yet.
Probably not. But
whomever's getting the rights to it, because while Funimation did Your Name, there's no guarantee they're going to get this one.
But, yeah, that's all I have in the news.
All right. So, I guess on that note, we should move into our review of a movie that, much like you were talking about with in the news about weather, this movie has a lot of dark and gloomy weather, considering it's based in 1800s London.
Yeah. 1890s, make sure.
1890s. Yes, near turn of the century. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So, the case is afoot.
Elementary, my dear Jacob. Spoilers alert is incoming for our review of The Great Mouse Detective. Before we get into the review, Jacob, non-spoilery, what are your thoughts?
It's a mouse of fun. It's great. It's a fun film. It's definitely got some dark elements to it. Mm-hmm. Your characters, it's an overall fun little romp that has so much of Sherlock Holmes in it. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Because it's inspired by Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a good film. It's definitely worth families watching. Now, granted, it does have that dark tone to it, like a lot of the 80s Disney films do. So there is going to be a little bit of, oh my gosh, this character scared me kind of moment. Mm-hmm. I guarantee as a little kid, be like, you see a character pop their head out from, in the middle of the screen, he's like, gonna hear just,
Yeah.
It's gonna scare some kid. But other than that, it's a great film and definitely worth watching.
Okay. I agree with you. It's actually one of my favorite classic Disney films. Mm-hmm. I think it's severely underrated. If you've not seen it, you should find a way to go watch it.
Yes.
Are we in agreement that this is a family-friendly film?
Yes.
All right. So, that brings us to the end of our spoiler section. If you do not wish to be spoiled, hit stop now.
And go find some way to go watch it. Also, you can go watch this, or not watch that. You can go watch it on Amazon right now. You can rent it at iTunes. And also, if you probably buy it on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And if you want to, you can go to DisneyMovieClub.com and purchase it there.
I agree.
So, let's get into our review.
Yes. Okay.
So, getting into our review, to give our audience a little bit of synopsis of what this film's about.
Indeed.
All right. So, Basil, our main protagonist, embarks in the greatest case of his career, when a London master toy maker is kidnapped. He ends up putting his wits against his oldest adversary, Professor Ratigan, who wants to become supreme ruler of all Mousedom.
Yep, that's pretty much the synopsis.
Yeah.
So, your first thoughts, I'm sure, when you watch this movie, is that it must be based on Sherlock Holmes.
That would be the presumption, yes.
That would be the presumption. And you're only partly correct.
Yeah.
Specifically, the best you could say about this is it's inspired by Sherlock Holmes, and does play a lot of lip service to Sherlock Holmes, but in reality, it's based on a series of books, of which I believe now there are 4, although at the time this came out there was only 1, called Basil of Baker Street, by Eve Titus and Paul Godon.
Yeah.
They intended that book series to be essentially a kid-friendly version of Sherlock Holmes. It was inspired a lot by it.
Yeah.
One major difference between the two is that in the books, Professor Ratigan isn't actually a rat.
Oh, really?
He's actually a mouse.
Oh, okay. Weird.
Yeah. That is the one difference I found in terms of inspiration. Obviously, the art style is different because it's that old British art style they actually look like mice, but they're standing up on their legs like a human would, walking around, obviously a British domicile. But obviously they didn't use that because that would be expensive to animate.
That would be expensive to animate.
But, so that's why they went with the more cartoony art style.
Yeah.
However, because of the connection to Sherlock Holmes, and especially since they intended more, when they started on the project, they wanted to make a Sherlock Holmes story before they decided to go with Basil. There is actually Sherlock Holmes and
Watson
make an appearance.
They do.
And, for even more fun, their audio is archived.
Yeah.
It is from a different program.
Yeah, it's from what is it? Is it from the movies or is it
it's
from
audiobook? It's from some movies.
Okay.
I've got the... Don't I have it listed in here? No, I didn't list it. Pooh. But it is... They did use audio... They used audio from 2 different sources.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes was voiced by... His voice was pulled from one thing. Watson's was pulled from actually a newer source. But the Sherlock Holmes pull, which I wish I'd have gotten that written down... He was the most famous actor at the time who had played Sherlock Holmes. So essentially it was Sherlock Holmes. For all intents and purposes. I wish I'd have gotten the name. The movie was directed by Ron Clements and John Musker.
Of course.
Who previously we've reviewed their movie The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
And I'm fairly certain I mentioned these on that one also, but they also directed Moana. The Princess and the Frog.
Yes.
And Treasure Planet. Also listed under directors was Bernie Mattinson and David Michener.
Okay.
Michener had no other directorial credits, and Mattinson had one other directorial credit. So I don't think they did much in general. I think they're just listed there. But Mattinson's other one was Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
The music was written by Henry Mancini.
Okay.
Do you know who Henry Mancini is? I'm just curious.
No, I don't actually.
He is generally considered one of the great composers. He would have been John Williams before John Williams was big, but then was also a John Williams contemporary.
Yeah.
The main thing he's known for, and most people recognize, is he's the guy who wrote the Pink Panther music.
Oh, okay.
And you can kind of hear that now, can't you?
A little bit, yeah.
So he was already used to doing music for comic comically funny detective
Yeah.
story. There were a lot of people listed as writers.
Okay.
They include Peter Young, Vance Jerry, Steve Hullett, Ron Clements and John Musker,
Of course.
Bruce Morris, Matthew O'Callahan, Bernie Mattinson and David Michener, and Mel Shaw. I did not go and look and see what else they had written because that's a lot of names.
That is a lot of names.
And of course, as I said earlier, it is based on Basil of Baker Street by Eve Titus and Paul Claudon, and it was inspired by the Sherlock Holmes universe created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Mm-hmm.
The cast includes Vincent Price as Professor Radigan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious what you might remember him from, if you do remember him from anything.
I am drawing a blank at the second. Enlighten me.
You've seen Edward Scissorhands, correct?
No.
I assumed you had.
Nope.
I should know better, because despite how alike we somehow end up being, our movie tastes are entirely different.
Yes, they are. That's another one that goes on the list.
Yes. But anyway, in Edward Scissorhands, which was created by Tim Burton, he plays the inventor that makes Edward Scissorhands. It was one of his last roles. Okay. But he played a lot of horror movies back in the day. Playing Basil of Baker Street, along with Bartholomew, who was the mouse that got eaten during The World's Greatest Criminal Mind.
Yeah.
They were played by Barry Ingham.
Okay.
And to pull from another famous British star of literature, he played Robin Hood in the movie A Challenge for Robin Hood. Val Benton played Dr. David Q. Dawson and a thug guard.
Of course.
He was he played the Sultan in the movies Aladdin, The Return of Jafar.
Okay.
Aladdin, the Prince of Thieves, along with the Aladdin television show.
Okay.
I didn't think to look up who played the Sultan in the first movie, but he didn't play that one.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I'm sure we will. Suzanne Palatschak. I mispronounced that, I'm fairly certain. But that makes sense considering she played Olivia Flaversham.
Okay.
This is her only role.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She did not do anything after this.
Okay.
Candy Candido.
Candido.
Yes.
That's an interesting one.
He played Fidget.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And his other roles he's played include the Indian Chief in Peter Pan.
Okay.
And he played one of Maleficent's goons in Sleeping Beauty.
Okay, so he goes back that far.
Yes.
Okay.
Diana Chesney played Mrs. Judson, his his housekeeper.
Housekeeper, Ninny.
Yes. She played a villager in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Okay.
That's the main thing I saw that people would recognize.
Okay. There again, a movie I have not seen.
We need...
Movie night! I hear it. It's a movie night.
Have you watched any Mel Brooks films?
Blazing Saddle?
Good enough. At least you've watched Blazing Saddles. Eve Brenner played the Mouse Queen, which was based off Queen Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much all she's done besides this role is she's played extras. In everything. Not everything, but in a lot of stuff. She was... You know how there's... When you're watching a movie and there's a person in the background, you go, oh, who is that person? I've seen them in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen them all the time, but you have no idea what their name is.
Yeah.
That's what she is.
Okay.
This was her most famous role.
Oh, okay.
Alan Young played Hiram Flaversham.
Ah, okay.
He is Uncle Scrooge in DuckTales and many other times where not Ebenezer Scrooge. What is his full name?
Are we talking about the character?
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck.
He has played Scrooge McDuck in pretty much everything from that era up until his death.
Oh, okay. That's right, because I remember correctly, he did the he did the voice for Scrooge McDuck in the video game when they remade it.
Yes.
And that was his last role he ever did.
That was his last role. Just almost right before that, though, because I have to have an excuse to bring up this game.
Of course.
He does play Scrooge McDuck in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Of course.
Selling sea salt ice cream.
Of course. Because it's Scrooge McDuck.
Exactly. But also, do you remember... And we've brought this show up before, I think. I don't know if we've said it on the show, but I know in conversation we have.
Yeah.
You remember the show Mr. Ed? The one with the talking horse?
Yeah.
Where to make the horse's mouth move, they stick peanut butter on the top of his mouth, so he does all that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was not the voice of Mr. Ed, unfortunately.
Okay.
But better. He played Wilbur.
Wilbur?
The owner.
Oh, okay.
The guy he talked to most of the time.
Oh, okay. Hey, Wilbur?
Yes. And last, and most certainly, not least, friend of the show if we ever met him, and I doubt he listens, but comes up on nearly every movie I think we do.
Okay.
Frank Welker.
Yes.
Plays both Toby the dog.
Yes.
And Felicia the cat.
That is hysterical.
And because with Frank Welker, I always try to find something we've not brought up yet.
He's Frank Welker. He's
in everything. You've got plenty to pick from.
Yes.
The movie Shrek.
Okay.
He played many of the animals' vocal effects.
Of course.
And the dragon.
He plays the dragon.
Yes!
Bravo, Frank.
So, yeah, Frank Welker has had to flirt with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
The
Frank
man...
Welker, you are a gem that I will hate to lose one day.
Yes, and love to meet someday.
Exactly.
I actually met a no, that was the other famous voice actor who's done everything else.
Yes. In fact, if Frank Welker would ever want to come on the show, call us. We'll let you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might just be an interview episode, but we'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty much what I have for the cast and crew.
All right. So this movie premiered on June 28th. Correction. This movie premiered June 23rd, 1986.
Okay.
So that means I would have been 3?
I would
4?
have been 6 months.
All right. So apparently it had an estimated budget of $14 million.
Mm-hmm.
Its opening weekend's boss in the U.S. alone was over $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit over $3 million. It grossed U.S. domestically over $38 million. And then worldwide, it did the exact same thing.
Okay.
So it beat its budget.
Yeah.
It wasn't it wasn't Avengers Endgame, making over $1 billion, but
wasn't even Little Mermaid.
No, it wasn't.
If we're being honest. But
yeah.
This is one of those underrated classics.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the main reason more people have not seen this is simply because Disney has not made it easy to watch this one.
Yeah.
Like most of their stuff pre-Little Mermaid in the 80s.
But I would bring this up. That you can, as of right now, you can go to, Disney Movie Club?
Mm-hmm.
And you can buy it on DVD right now.
However, we watched it on Blu-ray.
Yes.
Because I bought it back in...
This came out in
early probably 2011, 2012.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. On my Walmart discount. Back when I still could use it.
Right.
And, you can tell it's about that old when you're watching the trailers.
Oh, yeah.
But,
those are fun to watch sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was coming out. Ew, why did that come out?
Why was there a Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3? I didn't even know there was a 2. Anyway.
Gotta milk it as much as you can.
Who was appreciating that. Anyway, it's beside the point.
Someone who likes chihuahuas?
I guess.
Now, a funny point. My parents actually own chihuahuas. Mm-hmm. And so, I think this was like Chihuahua 2 was coming out. Chihuahua 2 or 3 was coming out. And my mom, jokingly, it's like, oh, I want to take the dogs to watch Hollywood, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. And it's like, Mom, are you serious? It's like, no, but it'd be funny. It's like, no.
Let's not do that, because I think even the dogs would bore of it. But, like you said, if there's money to be made, Disney will make it.
That is true.
So, this was your first viewing of this movie, wasn't it?
Yes. If memory serves correctly, yes.
Okay. This was not my first. I'm not sure how many times I've watched it before.
Yeah.
However, I can tell you prior to the time before this, which would have been the first viewing I had of the Blu-ray, I had never seen the opening scene.
Oh, really?
Well, previously, like a lot of movies in my youth, I had a version recorded off of Disney Channel.
Like you do.
And for whatever reason, the record button did not get pushed until after that scene. Oh. For whatever reason, about the time the logo pops up is about where I think the VHS copy started.
Yeah.
Or it cut in. So, for me, the first time I meet Olivia Flathersham is when she's crying in the boot.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know until the viewing before this, like, oh, you actually get to see the dad get kidnapped. Okay, this is dark.
Okay, that reminds me so much of when I was growing up, because my dad, before he bought the VHS and the DVD set of the original Die Hard movie, he recorded it off television. But apparently the recording had gotten messed up, and so he had to literally cut the film in order to make it work. So he cut the film, re-sliced it, and the first thing we see in the film is John McClane, our protagonist in the film, coming up an escalator. We get no context of what's going on. Somebody like, oh, okay, what is he doing in New York?
Hey,
or L.A. That's it, L.A. What is
he
doing
in New York? The first scene is going to be him walking across, him taking his shoes off in the carpet and doing that need thing he does that the guy on the airplane suggested him do. And you go, what's Bruce Willis doing?
That would have been like, what the heck's going on here?
Anyway.
But yeah, thankfully he had more context than that. But yeah, that reminded me so much of that as a child.
So yeah, that was how my first couple viewings went.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something real quick before we get into this too deep.
Okay.
And it's a stupid thing that I miss. I miss the old Disney logo.
Yes, that's one of the things
that is present on this Blu-ray. With the blue background and the whites. Do 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 do. Ba ba da da ba da da.
Yeah.
I did not realize how much I missed this shortened version of the logo I grew up with until I watched this movie again. It's like, I think I like this better than this 3D version that's on everything now.
Right. Yeah, oddly enough, I think it's the DVD version I have of The Little Mermaid. It still has that. It still has that original version, which is so just be like, okay, nostalgia waves coming back. It's so amazing.
There's that meme where the teacher's telling the students about the five senses, and this kid says, I can hear pictures. The teacher says, no, you can't. And then it would show a picture of something you obviously know what sound is playing when you see that. This is one of those for me.
Oh, yeah.
I can hear this. If you just showed me a picture of that Disney logo, I'd hear that sound.
Huh.
In my brain.
Yeah. So, when it came to my first viewing of it, obviously for the review, I was totally blown away. I was like, okay, this is going to be an 80s era, Disney.
Yeah.
And the movie that kind of led into Little Mermaid. And I was floored. It wasn't like Your Name where I stopped eating, but
yeah,
it was more. I was like, okay, I'm interested. Okay, okay. Now now you have my attention, and then you get to meet Ratigan.
Yes.
It's like, oh my gosh, that is a villain. Be like,
that's why Vincent Price is the perfect guy to play him.
Yeah,
he's got that old timey villain thing going about him, the kind where you expect him to be twirling his mustache, tying women to railroad tracks for no other reason other than it's fun. Evil for evil's sake. Villain. And while that's unpopular, I think it's unpopular nowadays because it's been overdone.
Yeah.
Admittedly. This is it at its finest.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Because, it's Ratigan. He's based on Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes, who is very much an evil for evil's sake villain because not really. He gets in Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes novels gets into crime because that's essentially how he grew up, but he was a genius.
Right.
He sticks with that after first fighting Sherlock Holmes because a rivalry grows up. Yeah. And you can see that rivalry between Basil and Ratigan in this movie.
Yes.
Very easily. In fact, I give you an idea of how much they were referencing stuff in Sherlock Holmes for this.
Yeah.
The scenes on the outside of the clock tower.
Oh, yeah.
When Basil, is hanging from the clock tower, Ratigan jumps at him, and then they both fall into the mist. That is exactly how, although this was in a waterfall where this takes place. Yeah. In the book, The Final Problem, that is how supposedly we see Sherlock Holmes die.
Yeah, when he's fighting Moriarty.
Fighting Moriarty. So they reference that in this by having, them fall into the mist and go, he's dead. No, this is a Disney movie. Before they actually killed people.
Yeah.
If you're not bad. So that's why and so they go ahead and let him live by having him pedal for his life.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's genius. Because I saw when he grabbed the very end of the copter, I was like, that's his escape. That's his exit machina.
That is genius, but at the same time, it's like, how on earth are you pedaling fast enough to stay aloft? And not just stay aloft, gain air to get up to where they are. So, yeah. I will say because getting into our likes. Yeah. Getting into our likes and dislikes. Yes. My first like is one of the most innovative things this movie does. Okay. The gear scenes of Big Ben. Those are the first, as far as we can tell, the first widely done computer animated shots in an animated feature. Yes. Now, the way they did this animation
which is ingenious, by the way.
The way they did this is not how we would do 3D animation now. What they actually did, because of the way the computers work, because at this time, computers didn't even really have screens when they were doing this. Not at the level that Disney was working at. Right. They literally had the computer draw the models, got the sequence done kind of in a low-res animated way, so the computer could actually do it.
You built the framework out.
Completed the entire sequence on the computer, and then had the computer print every single frame that the camera would take through the shots. And then the animators would color that in on the background layer and then have the 2D characters running in the foreground. That was how they're able to do so many of those shots you couldn't do in 2D animation at that time, where literally it's like a live action movie. the camera is zooming in and out. There's one part where, as Professor Ratigan is chasing Basil
that is a great
up
scene.
there, you can see him run through gears as they are about to close.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, oh my word. And it's only on screen for a second.
Yeah.
Old style animation, if they tried this scene, they would never do that.
Yeah.
If they did it here, it's like, okay, this is awesome.
Yeah, literally how the camera just pans through that scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you couldn't have done that traditionally.
Yeah.
And it just, wow, the scenes go up, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah. I think total, if I counted it right, there's about 3 minutes total.
Yeah.
Of this footage. It's probably the most expensive footage in the entire film.
Probably.
And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think there's actually another shot where they use that technique in the movie. When they're in the toy shop, and Basil is climbing the little mountain of toy blocks.
Yeah.
That looked a little too much for hand-drawn animation at the time. It kind of has that same feel as
Possibly.
It's
I thought that
only for like a split second, like maybe 5 frames at most.
Yeah, 5 or 6 frames. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is there. It's like, okay, cool. That may have been their test footage to see if this was even going to work.
Yeah.
And then did the full thing with the gears and such later.
Yeah, which they pulled off spectacularly.
Yes. That is one of my favorite moments in the film, just simply because, as an animation nerd, knowing that A, it's landmark, B, it's friggin' awesome.
Yes,
to see this in a 2D film.
Yes. Oh, I don't know why I didn't put that on the list. I don't know why, but yes, completely 100% agree with you on that. My number one, Ratigan.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, of this character. If I had seen The Great Mouse Detective before, that would have been very almost butting up against my number one, which was Mother Gothel.
Yes.
For best villain. Because he's freaking Moriarty.
Yeah.
Just how villainous and how oh my gosh, just the character blew me away when it came to like just how conniving and rat-like he is.
Yeah.
And the fact of how he's a rat that he's posing as a mouse, even though you can definitely tell he's a rat. And so you never called him a rat.
Yes.
Never.
Or you meet Felicia. His cat.
Yeah, his cat.
Yes. Not anyone else's. His cat. And you can tell a lot of people must have called him Rat before because she's fat.
Yeah, she's a very fat cat.
Fluffy cat.
Yes. Oh, just wow. There's you could literally talk for probably an hour on Ratigan of Price's performance, of how they literally they saw his performance and just okay, this is Ratigan. He was born for this character.
As a quick little side note on what you're saying, this movie I would not consider a musical, despite the fact there are songs in it.
Yes.
2 of really the 3 songs. There's really only 3 songs.
Yeah.
2 of those songs are sung by Vincent Price for most of their length.
Yes, there are.
First one is The World's Greatest Criminal Mind.
Yes.
Which is his villain song.
Yes.
The second is Goodbye So Soon Until We Meet Again.
Yeah.
Which is part of how he's going to take out Basil. Which I'm going to get to that part in a minute. But I want to point out that this is the only time I know of, and I think this is true, this is the only time he's actually sung on a film.
That's what I understand.
Mm-hmm. And he actually does a pretty good job. I mean, I say sing.
Yeah.
He is speaking most of these lines, and they're sing-songy. He's not really singing, but he's doing a pretty decent job of it.
Yeah, speaking of his song, his villain song, the line in which gives you more context of who this character was is when his goons are talking about how the
even meaner, you mean it, worse than the widow's endorphins you drowned.
That's what it was.
evil.
Evil.
You're not. It's like, oh, no, this is what you did. It's like, is there a reason you drowned widows and orphans? How did that help you? Did you just do it or what?
It's like, I was born, they call me a rat.
Oh, man. So getting in... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, but it tells you so much about the character. Be like, yeah, he's villain for villain's sake, but he's such a good villain.
Yes.
Good. Oh my gosh. There again, he'd probably be my second top, my second tier villain of, Disney or whatever.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So, sticking with Ratigan.
Yeah.
The scene with, that shows Basil's demise. Or it's intended to.
Oh.
In the middle of the film, Basil has been tricked.
Oh,
and
yeah.
thinks he's lost.
Yeah.
And allows himself and Dawson to get tied up onto this mousetrap.
Literally.
And Vincent Price gets the monologue.
Oh, yeah.
In classic villain fashion.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I just couldn't figure out how to take you out, so I chose them all.
Oh, that's great.
And so it's like, I went in the ball, first a jaunty tune that I composed myself to send you out on. Once the song ends, the ball will fall down the track until bang, pang, boom, swip, crash, splat. Oh, and you will smile for the camera, for posterity's sake. I would stay and watch all this because I really wanted to, but you were 15 minutes late. That whole thing, it's like,
yes,
okay. As all of you know from the Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders episode 4, I think.
Yeah.
I love this kind of stuff.
Yes, I can tell.
Where the hero is trapped. They're never going to get out. Tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I love this stuff. It is stupid beyond belief, and it's cheesy.
Oh, yeah.
But they use this to, finally tell you what Ratigan's plan is.
Yeah.
He's going to kidnap the queen, put a animatronic version of her in there.
Yes.
Admittedly, is brilliant for the time.
Oh, yeah. And his whole scheme of it, like,
yes.
he kidnapped the toy maker
to build it.
Yeah.
And then he's going to kidnap Olivia so that he has motivation to do so.
And his whole plan would be like, oh, I need you to steal, clockwork stuff.
Yes.
And,
tools, gears, girls, uniforms.
Yeah.
Oh, no, didn't get the girl.
New girl. Oh, got her now. Yeah, I got her now.
Yeah. So,
perfect. Just, oh my god.
But that's only part of it.
Yes.
The second part is how he gets out. Because it's in classic Sherlock Holmes style.
Yes.
Dawson, who for Holmes would be Watson, says something that should have nothing to do with anything. It triggers something in Basil's mind, and he realizes, and he goes through the whole method. It's like, carry the 2 circumference of a triangle, or whatever it is he's saying. Yes. I don't remember. He says it so fast, but it's like, I know I just saw this on the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes show. This is very much like that, just without the Mind Palace graphics.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, on the count of 3, we need to trigger... When I say so, Dawson, we need to trigger the mousetrap precisely. And you know what's going through Dawson. So I was like, what?
Are you crazy?
So the song finishes after it gets caught on the record for a couple minutes. It's like, that's bull. It's like, bump. Oh, they're saved. And then and Dawson shouts to get get Basil back on track. And of course that starts, that just fast forwards a bit. It's like, oh, we got less time now. It's like 3, and of course everything goes off without a hitch. They're saved. They even get Olivia out of the green bottle she's stuck in.
Yes.
And they get a selfie. And he even gets time to change his clothes into the classic Sherlock Holmes thing, because he's been in his captain's
Yes.
costume
From the bar
from
scene.
the bar scene. And to smile, everyone. Poof. It's like, that's great. Love it. I love it. That's great. It's just fun. What's your second one?
Oh, gosh. Olivia and Dawson.
Yes.
Olivia is the cute little character which you instantly fall in love with, who you want her to find her father.
Mm-hmm.
She's be like, as everybody knows who's seen the film, it's more she's the catalyst of how everything starts.
Yes.
And it's be like, you find her there, you find her in the boots, and Dawson finds her, and you just wind up falling in love with these two characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because of just how
it's
much...
very much of a grandfather and granddaughter type of relationship.
Exactly. Like, Basil, he's more like, what are you doing? Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I've got a case. They're like, oh, a bat? Really? There was a bat? Really? Oh.
Did he have a peg leg?
Yes!
It's like, no. Did he have a crooked wing? I don't know.
No.
But he had a peg leg. A peg leg.
And that sets the entire thing off. Be like, obviously she's the catalyst, but it's just more like you just fall in love with these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Be like with Dawson. I want to say Watson, but yeah. Dawson is just be like, he's there again. He's the rugged old soldier who just got back from Afghanistan, and just, oh my gosh, just how his character is built, and how just, it's so much fun. It's so much fun just listening to him talk and, interact with Basil, and just the guy who's not completely out of his element, but he's more just like, oh my gosh, and it's like, what the heck did I get myself into? Who is this Basil?
Yeah.
Like, I've heard of Baker Street, but yeah, I instantly just fell in love with these two characters. Mm-hmm. No, I'll get to Basil later.
Yes.
But so, what is your third?
My third. I know I tend to just keep throwing scenes in there, but that's just how I think.
Yeah.
The scene at the end of the movie where Toby is chasing Felicia.
Oh, yes! Yes! I love that!
It's a classic dog versus cat thing.
It's Frank Walker
chasing Frank Walker. Which is lovely when you realize that.
Yes.
I didn't catch that
Me either.
when I was watching the movie until I was looking through the IMDb and go, he chased himself. Okay. So, Toby, which is supposedly Sherlock Holmes' dog that Basil is borrowing.
Yeah.
Despite the fact, while there is a dog named Toby in Sherlock Holmes, it's not Sherlock Holmes' dog, it's the neighbor's dog.
Yeah, he borrows the dog.
Besides the point.
Yeah.
Anyway, Toby is chasing Felicia away from Buckingham Palace as the Queen is beating back Fidget.
Yes.
And Toby chases Felicia to this fence, and Felicia jumps up, does the whole twist the tail up by prim and proper thing, jumps over the fence, camera
zooms down,
camera pans down, royal dog, I'm thinking, and this thought crossed my mind.
Yes.
Bye, Felicia!
I thought things was like, oh my gosh! And all you is,
it's like,
and birds flying
and we'll never see Felicia again.
By the way, that should be the title. Be like, bye
Felicia.
People are like, what in the world is this?
Oh, you'll understand when you listen to the episode. But at the same time, Felicia is probably one of my favorite villain cats in Disney.
Oh, I agree.
Because that's the thing, with Disney being a company built around a mouse, makes sense that the primary villain Disney keeps throwing up are cats.
Yeah.
So there's two other ones I can think of off the top of my head. Lucifer. Which you gotta love the fact that they just go out and name the cat Lucifer in Cinderella.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously evil. He is named after the devil. What was she? What was this? Okay. Evil for evil's sake. Besides the point, who knows when we're gonna get to Cinderella, I assume at some point.
Yeah, we will.
I just want to ask this one question so you can think about it until we get to the episode. Why would the evil stepmother, whose name I can't think of, why would she name her cat after the devil?
We'll find out.
Fluffy, Princess, any of these kind of names that's like you would expect for the name of a cat?
Yeah.
Completely understand. Lucifer?
Lucifer.
Okay, so that's one cat. I was like, he's good. Don't get me wrong. Lucifer's kind of a cool cat. Not my favorite, but
he's a very good...
He's a very good villain cat. He is what comes to mind when you think Disney villain cat.
Yes.
Admittedly. There's another cat. Classic cat.
Classic cat. Now, the cat that comes
has dealt with Mickey Mouse.
Oh, okay. I was thinking...
Has dealt with Goofy.
Okay.
I did not realize he was a cat until Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm going through the character list and I go, it says Pete, the cat. He's a cat? I just thought he was a dog. And you look at it and you go, yeah, he's a cat. I can see it now. Now anytime I watch anything he's in, including Goof Troop, including a Goofy movie, including Steamboat Willie, he's a cat.
Now, the cat I was thinking of was actually Fat Cat from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
That too. I can understand why you'd go there. I was thinking classic film cats. But anyway. So I'm looking at that, and I'm comparing Pete, Lucifer, and Felicia. Obviously, Felicia has the least amount of character development.
Yes.
And I don't care because she does her job.
Uh-huh.
And it provides one of the most memorable moments I know of in a Disney film, at least in my mind.
Yes.
Watching Bartholomew get eaten by the cats.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because I was watching that as a kid going, I know this is what cats do, but wow. This is why Ratigan is evil.
Yes.
Because he sends a drunken mouse to his death for the sole reason that he upset him.
Yeah. Called him a rat.
Yes. And that's the thing. That moment proves how much of a villain Ratigan is.
Yes.
To me, above any other moment in the film.
Yes.
But he can't do that without Felicia.
Yeah.
And then...
That's his muscle.
They're going to use Felicia to eat the Mouse Queen.
Yes!
You're going, this makes perfect sense. And there's just that point when they're going down the hall, and about this point in the movie, at least for me, I know they're talking animals, but you forget that they're the size they are in real life.
Yeah.
And you just see at the end of this hallway, this big giant cat head jumping up and down, saying, is it coming? Is it coming? I'm hungry.
I want the mouse. I want the mouse.
Just give me the mouse. I want the mouse. I was promised the mouse. I just carried 6 of them and a lizard. That's the thing. 6 mice and a lizard. The lizard is the only character in the film that's not a rodent.
True.
And nothing is pointed out to this guy.
Oh, except obviously Toby and Felicia.
Well, yeah, but they're not... They're thinking characters, but they're not...
They're just, a dog and a cat.
They're a dog and a cat. They're fulfilling their role in the animal kingdom. That's all they're doing.
Frank Welker.
Yes, they're Frank Welker. Also, I love, just to get past this point, they get, Dawson and Basil escape after they've escaped that. Mm-hmm. They go up there and they tell Toby what's going on, and Toby just gets angry. His ear flops over and turns into a stare. Yes! It's like, okay, I know this is completely unrealistic. But this is a movie about a group of mice having trying to deduce how a rat is going to kill the Mouse Queen. I don't care, this is funny.
This is very funny.
But still, back to my original point. Felicia is one of my favorite characters in the movie. She's not as good a villain as Ratigan himself.
Oh yeah, she's basically Ratigan's muscle.
But she, I think, is the best of his goons.
His goon squad.
Yes.
You got
Fidget's close.
Fidget's really
close.
Yes, I agree.
But at the same time, I just love watching Felicia.
Yeah.
And then she gets the best send-off.
Yes.
Bye, Felicia! Okay, what's your number 3 good one?
I think you just mentioned him.
Fidget?
Fidget! I love Fidget. Well, originally I had another scene in there, but I was like, you know what? I like Fidget. He's this awkward character who's a bat.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, he's, got the peg leg, he's got the broken wing, and he can't fly.
Yeah.
Which is odd, because he's a bat.
He's a bat who can't be a bat.
And his send-off is, like, great, because as Radigan normally does, be like, oh, you're used to,
kick. You want to lighten the load? Yeah, I think I like your idea.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't fly! I can't fly!
Bye, Fidget!
But, oh my gosh, because he's almost the bumbling sidekick who you love to death.
He's the lovable sidekick. He's the only one of his goons that has a personality besides Felicia.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why okay. He's the one who actually kidnaps the toy maker in the beginning.
Yes.
He attempts to... Imagine the gall of Fidget. He tries to kidnap Olivia while she's in Basil's house.
What's that? What?
He may not know it's Basil's house, but he has to see Basil and walking around.
Yes.
And while and Fidget might be stupid, but he's not that stupid.
No, it'd be like he's a very intelligent, idiotic goon.
He's smart enough to know when they're in the toy shop how to set all that stuff off, because that would throw off everything they're doing.
That was genius. Yes. It was like, oh my gosh, Fidget did that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's clever. Beyond clever. It's like, you would think that'd be a Radigan thing.
Yeah.
But apparently he learned so much from Fidget.
Fidget was smart enough to go, you want to distract the guy who needs concentration to figure out what's going on, to figure out this mystery? You make lots of noise. Mm-hmm. To escape and steal the girl at the same time.
And his
only mistake,
dropping the list. Now, his ingenious, when you first, really see him, is when he pops through that window. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Or when he pops through the carriage, oh my gosh. It's that would frighten a kid. Be like, oh my gosh, that's scary.
Even the scene at, where he's first shows up at Basil's house to try and kidnap Olivia.
Yeah.
And you don't even know this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. They're talking, you see this window, and all of a sudden, the lightning flashes, and he's there. It's like, wow, that spooked me, and I'm an adult. It's like, I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I've seen this movie so many times, and I knew it was coming.
Yeah, there again, for a first-time viewer, I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Yeah. And he did it again with the baby carriage scene.
Yes.
Where he very cleverly, uses the bubbles to distract Olivia to get her to come to him. I was like, oh my gosh, that's clever. And he literally he's sitting in the baby carriage, it's a doll, and of course, she's curious, so she's in boom! It's like, oh my gosh! Yeah. That was clever. Mm-hmm. I mean, just... The way the character was designed, the bumbling fool he is, but an incredibly intelligent fool.
Yes.
I love that character. I love his character design, because apparently when they were doing voiceovers, and they're recording it, and so they're watching this voice actor, which I can't remember his name in a second.
I'll look it up right quick.
All right.
We'll continue.
But... this is apparently they designed...
Candy Candido.
Mm-hmm. Apparently
He's good at playing goons.
Apparently. So, apparently they designed Fidget's face off his facial expressions. Mm-hmm. And it's just his character design is so... almost iconic. Obviously, because this movie doesn't get enough love as it should. Mm-hmm. Which I'm just kind of shocked it doesn't. Because everyone's being oh, Little Mermaid. What was that? Before that? I think that was...
there was a mouse detective thing as Sherlock Holmes. I don't care about Sherlock Holmes. And then there's the cat one based on Oliver Twist, but I hate Oliver Twist. Why would I watch this?
That's a good movie, though.
I'm quoting the audience perceptions.
Yeah.
And then before that, there's that movie that was so horrid, we didn't finish it. About the black cauldron. Isn't that the sword in the stone? No, it's the black cauldron.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I don't know. It's fantasy. Who cares?
Very true. Yeah, the 80s was very much a time period in which they quote unquote called the Dark Ages.
Disney was not at its best during this time.
No.
But not because they weren't doing a good job. They were just not doing a good job of gauging the audience.
Yeah.
And what the audience was wanting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
let's keep in mind, this is the 80s. We were what? Extremely close to World War III
with a nuclear war,
mutually assured destruction,
and
we're going to do a mouse movie in England. Okay.
Yeah, this was 1986. So yeah, there was like the Cold War was
it was coming to an end, but it wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, that was my number three. That was my number 3 pick.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into our dislikes.
All right.
So I do have one.
Oh, okay. You have one.
I have a couple, but I mean the main one.
Okay.
And this is going to sound bad.
Okay.
To some degree.
Yeah.
The scene in the bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. The acting is... Dawson is hilarious in that scene.
Oh, yes.
Him getting drunk.
Oh, yeah.
In a Disney film.
Well, his drink is spiked.
So he's
drugged.
Yes. But I don't like the dancing girl scene, even though that is the kind of scene that would happen in a bar, and you kind of can't do the bar scene without the woman's musical number where she does the showgirl thing.
Yeah.
In fact, for that first half of that scene, because it's been a while since I'd seen it, and I can guarantee you, when I was a kid, this scene I would have not paid that close attention to.
Oh, yeah. Now, as an adult?
As an adult, I'm going, oh, look. There's some perversion.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think I'm hesitant to say this on a family-friendly show, but I know what this spawned. But at the same time, when I was first rewatching this for this episode, I was thinking, I was just about to docket points for how many instruments were coming out of that piano.
Okay.
Because up until the point, you just had the piano guy playing.
Yeah.
For the octopus and then the frog thing, and then he starts playing the one for her. And, he starts off piano, fine. Then she starts getting into the verse, and horns come in. And I'm looking at the scene going, where are the horns? There's horns. I'm hearing horns, but they're not animating any horns.
Yeah.
Until about halfway through the song, where I'm guessing somebody at Disney thought, wait a minute, this music has more than just a piano in it. We need to animate some guys.
Yeah, because you see them in the background. It's like, oh, that's where they were.
But they don't do anything. You're not even in the other scene where it's showing the whole thing. You don't see them until the other two dancing girls are out there doing the chorus line thing while she's backstage taking off the homely dress and putting on her sexy dress.
Yes.
Sexy mouse dress.
Sexy mouse dress. There we go.
I don't like this because I don't like what it suggests and what's supposed to be a family-friendly film, even in the 80s. I know they were trying to go for a more adult, more grown-up audience than just the little kids.
Yeah.
But it's still Disney. You're going to have the little kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Pirates of the Caribbean has little kids going to watch it. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah. Now, I do understand the scene contextually.
Yeah.
This was the 1890s.
This is how that would have gone down. And I do like seeing the scum of London, when you get down to it, in that and how diverse that is, of all the worst of the worst people, worst rodents down in there. That was interesting.
Yes.
It's just, you get into the song and dance number, and I'm going, really? We're doing this? And then when you look up and you realize this song was not even written by Henry Mancini. It was written by somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like, written by the lady singing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know why it's here. I just don't care. So yeah, that's my main dislike.
I gotcha. Well, this one's going to come as a little bit of a curve a little bit, but it's not this is the worst character. But I think it was more the weakest character.
Mm-hmm.
Basil.
Okay.
Now,
I'm willing to listen.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Basil is an interesting character. He's an interesting character. He's Sherlock Holmes in a nutshell. Mouse form.
Yes.
But when you're come up against, like, Ratigan, you come up against Dawson, Olivia, all these great characters.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fidget! Felicia and Toby.
Felicia and Toby.
We didn't talk much about Toby, but he's great too.
Yeah. Basil just comes across, be like he's the, I would hate to say it, but the weakest link of the bunch. He's not as interesting as everybody else, but he's still an interesting character. But he's just not as he doesn't grab you like every other character does.
Yeah, I would say for me anyway, he's the most like you expect.
Yeah, he's Sherlock Holmes.
When you look at Ratigan,
yeah,
you're to some degree going into it. You're thinking, okay, somewhere between Bluto from Popeye and a really smart guy. Something more prim, proper. You don't expect all of Ratigan.
Yeah.
Because Ratigan has all this muscle with intelligence. And that if that was that by itself, it would be okay.
Yeah.
But you get into the fact that he is chewing the scenery.
Oh yeah,
in every scene. Fidget is chewing the scenery in every scene. Olivia, Toby, Felicia, Dawson, not so much.
Yeah, but Dawson was a little more. He was a little more of a dynamic character.
But Dawson, at the same time, is also our eyes to all this.
Yeah, he's basically our narrator into the story.
Right. Well, just like it would have been in the Sherlock Holmes stuff.
Exactly.
Those were always written by Watson.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what they're taking with it. And so, for the most part, even though Dawson is almost forgettable.
Yeah.
He's not really, because you see early on when it's just him, just his way of thinking, and he comes up on Olivia, you see his brain works like, I don't really have time to take care of this little girl, but I need to.
Yes.
And then you get to Basil.
Yeah.
Basil is essentially just what you think of when you think of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, exactly. There's something
he fits in. He does not stand out. The only thing that makes him stand out when you compare him to Sherlock Holmes, the Sherlock Holmeses that go through your mind, Benedict Cumberbatch's in the new BBC show.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
In those Sherlock Holmes. Even the guy playing Sherlock in Elementary. That was on NBC, I think.
CBS, actually.
CBS. Sorry, I didn't watch that one. I'm going to throw a Sherlock Holmes in that you have probably not even considered, but because I'm a Trekkie, I have to.
Okay.
Data.
Oh, okay.
An android who knows all of them, in order so that Data can actually have to work at it, they actually... Well, holodeck episode, we're going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Moriarty realizes he's a holodeck character. Which is a cool moment. Okay. The two times they show, it's like, okay, this is awesome. But even Data's version of Sherlock Holmes is more interesting.
Yeah.
Than Basil.
Yeah, yes.
Basil is just a direct translation of the character from the books.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's not bad, because it's still an interesting character. There's a reason why this character has captured the imagination of people for over 100 years.
Yes.
He's still just Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
There's nothing that makes him better.
Yes. I agree. I agree with you there. And Yeah, that's just why I think that Basil is probably the weakest link of the bunch.
And like you said, he's not the worst character.
No,
he's not
by
a
any
bad
means.
Character.
No.
He's just the weakest.
Yeah. Because you are so focused on everybody else, he's just Sherlock character. Yes. That's all he is. And we, like you said, the character's been around for 100 years. There's been so many iterations and versions of him.
There's nothing that makes him stand out other than he's a mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
So, my second dislike, and this is so much a nitpick, and it's not even a problem with the film itself.
Yeah.
It's a problem with the transfer. On what we watched. The transfer from the film to the Blu-ray. Most of the time, when you watch these old cartoons...
Yeah.
If you've been watching them a long time, you can tell, this is the element in the background that's about to get interacted with. This is the door that's about to open.
Yes.
This is, you watch enough that you know what to look for.
Yeah.
In modern times, when you go back and watch, like, for instance, when we watched Little Mermaid, admittedly, it's a little newer show than...
It's very, it's 3 years older.
It's 3 years older, plus they had moved to caps at this point. Mm-hmm. They weren't fully in caps with Great Mouse Detective. I think the only thing they really used caps for was the 3D scene.
Yes.
But there were moments where it's like, that didn't transfer well. I can still see. Like, they're showing like when they're at the toy shop. And you're watching and they're going past this and you can already tell which one's going to open for them.
Oh yeah.
Before they even point out the little hole.
Oh yeah. It stands out like
a sore thumb. I know that's a problem with cell animation. And if you're doing just a straight transfer, you're not doing a remaster, which this was not a remaster. This was a straight transfer from probably, if we're being honest, the DVD master.
Probably.
It is 1080p in what they put out, but I think it's an upscale. It's not even that bad an upscale. It's actually pretty decent. But you're watching it and you're going, yeah, this was not a good transfer. This is not as good a transfer as I'm used to.
Yeah.
Now, they could have changed that for the version that's on digital right now, for all I know. Because this is 2012 when I got this disc. They haven't released a new Blu-ray version, but that doesn't mean they're not going to, I don't believe. And like I said, that's not even really a problem with the film.
Right.
It's just a problem with the experience I watched.
Oh, okay.
It's disappointing, but I can live with it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a nitpick.
Yeah. My third and final one, it's a nitpick. Now, granted, understanding the context of what this movie's based in, and there again, Disney's done this twice in their films. Luckily, I think it's third or fourth, one of those. The smoking scene in the bar.
Okay.
Yeah. There again, it's only a nitpick. It's a nitpick about the fact that these characters smoke. Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm not a smoker. Me and my brothers had to force our parents to stop smoking. Because we wanted to see them live past the age of 60.
Right.
So, I understand the context. It's, the 1890s, smoking is legal.
Everyone was smoking.
Everyone was smoking. But heck, when they were doing the film, they were probably smoking.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a small nitpick. No, granted, they've only done it two other times. I believe it was Dumbo and 101 Dalmatians.
I only give that a pass for two reasons.
Okay.
A, the timeline when this happened.
Yes.
When this movie takes place, people smoke. You gotta go with it.
You go with it, yeah.
B, unlike, say, I think in The Rescuer, she's smoking, the villain is smoking a cigarette.
Yes, she is.
Most of that.
Yes.
Unlike that.
Yeah.
Almost all the smoking you see here is through a pipe, except in the bar scene where I think they are smoking, cigars.
Yes.
There's something about both the cigar and mainly the pipe.
Yeah.
That at least seems dignified.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
don't agree with the smoking itself.
Yes.
But because of the amount of work that would go into doing a pipe, or even a cigar for that matter, you're not doing that as often as a cigarette.
Yeah.
I can kind of accept that in a film setting because it gives you a context of what's going on.
Yes.
It's perfect for the setting. In fact, it would stand out worse.
Yeah, if they weren't.
If there weren't smoking.
Yes.
But I understand your thought process because I had family that died from smoking.
Yeah, I did too.
So I'm all for people not smoking.
Yeah.
Anything. I'm just going to be specific. I'm not just talking about tobacco. Vaping, marijuana, random grass you find out out in your yard.
Yeah.
I don't care what. Just don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bad for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's about the only, the small nitpick is the smoking, but understandably the context and what have you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically all my, that's it.
That's mine too. So, we're both in agreement that this is a family-friendly film, correct?
Yes.
Because, and I think it's family-friendly simply because there's nothing objectionable except for the cigarette, the smoking.
Yeah. In which,
do
not smoke.
Yeah, there's that and plus sexy mouse dress.
Yeah.
Those are things I don't like.
Okay.
But at the same time, they're both done with a good amount of taste.
Yes.
You might not want to let your kids just watch this by themselves. Make your first viewing at the very least one the whole family's getting together to watch.
Yeah. And I would definitely go with this point. I think I brought it up earlier. Mm-hmm. The idea that there are a few, definitely with Fidget, where he jumps out of the scene, which is real. For me, it scared me a little bit. Just the tiniest was like, whoa, okay. For a little kid, that's going to scare the crap out of him.
Yeah. Now, I will say, for most part, for me anyway, it was more of a startle. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
But I can see how that would make a kid yelp.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like Olivia when she first sees, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Especially during the kidnapping scene. The kidnapping scene by itself.
Uh-huh.
You need to be there for your kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because they aren't going to understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to scare, because the idea that someone could come in and take their parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to scare the living crap out of them.
Yeah.
Especially if they're good kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be there for that anyway.
Yeah, just watch the movie.
Watch the movie with them for the first time.
Yeah, your young kid. Oh, absolutely.
Always suggest that.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing in here I would say even makes you go eat. And really, you could probably watch this, I would say, 5 and up.
Yeah. Easy.
Any below that point, definitely you want to be there, but at the same time, it may not be good for them. You should know your kids to know if they can handle scary moments like that.
Yeah.
One would hope.
Yeah, one would hope.
Says the single guy.
Yeah, same here.
So, I am going to give this an 8.0.
Okay.
It's not the greatest movie I've ever seen. It is, like I said, an underrated classic. There's very little I can even say bad about it. Mm-hmm. But there is that innate feeling that there's a lot of stuff that's better than this.
Yeah, I agree.
So, while it's a classic, I think everyone should watch it. I'm going with an 8.
Yeah. I would definitely, go down the same path. It's definitely an 8. It's, family friendly. It's a good film. It's definitely not, it's not one of those B, C movies. It's a classic that's been definitely heavily underrated. And definitely people should go watch this. Be like, if you've never heard of the 80s movie for Disney, go look them up.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. And
they just were not sold very well.
They weren't sold well, and
they weren't really paying attention to who the demographic was.
Exactly. The whole reason be like they were, it's a dark age because they didn't sell well.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the quality. The qualities are great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's an 8. And there again, 8 is not a bad thing. It's like getting a B in school. Be like, it's passing. You did a very good job. You just messed up here and there.
Yeah. So, that brings us to the end of another episode.
Yes, it did.
And ladies and gentlemen, there are a couple of you that I need to ask forgiveness from. Because you have left us reviews of our show on the website but I didn't notice them.
Whoops.
So I'm going to go through these right quick.
Okay.
Commenting 7 months ago on our episode on Frozen is a guy named PJ.
Okay.
Who says, very well done, you two. And gives us 2 little thumbs up.
Awesome.
J Hamrick 777, which if I'm not mistaken is my friend Joseph.
Okay.
Says, enjoying it so far, looking forward to more episodes. May Pizza, I'm saying that wrong, I know, it's a username, forgive me.
Yeah.
Which, going by the picture, their user picture, I'm thinking is our friend Travis from church.
Ah!
He says, love these 2 guys and what they are doing, keep it up.
Awesome.
And then we get to some new ones we got just this week. 2 days ago. From someone named Passive Creative, says, fun podcast with great animation insights. They get better with every episode.
Awesome.
And later on, this person also commented specifically on the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Says, so many great Bat films to do. Now do them all. Soon.
We'll get to it. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Batman is definitely on our list. There's plenty of them to go through.
Yes.
Also, on Facebook, your brother left us a pretty decent review.
Yes, he did.
He says, this is now the podcast I have listened to the most. Very enjoyable. There is a ton of cartoons I want to hear y'all review. Maybe the first Lego Batman movie from 2013, which is superior to the 2017 one. Just saying. There's a 2013 one?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Also, you have a section in your podcast where you ask if the film is family friendly. So I vote you review some not safe for kids films. Some of the modern DC animated films. Hellboy, obviously. Plenty of anime options. Heavy Metal. Or even Beowulf. I don't think y'all would do Sausage Party. And you would be correct, sir. That's one we're not doing.
Yeah.
I would rather watch South Park than that.
Well, let's just say we won't do it, but if we got enough fans, you're saying be like, you need to do Sausage Party, we might have to do Sausage Party.
But it will be an NSFW episode because of what we have to talk about.
Yes!
Not because of what we're saying.
Yeah.
So,
thanks,
those were our the reviews that we've gotten so far.
That's awesome.
Which means, now that we've gone through that, we need to roll for our next film. Now, this is the last one we are rolling for this year. Because after our next episode, when we go into October, we're gonna be doing a theme month.
Yes.
So, starting at number 1, we have Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Number 2, Kung Fu Panda. What? Number 3, Oliver and Company. Number 4, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. And I would like to point out, if we don't roll this one tonight, it will be growing the next time we get to roll.
So it's another Batman film.
There you go. Passive creative. Coming in at number 5 is the new one this week, The Good Dinosaur.
Okay.
This is also a massively underrated Disney film, even though it's Pixar.
Yeah.
But I do believe it's massively underrated. I think it got a bad rap. I think the reason The Good Dinosaur is not thought of as well is it came out the same year as Inside Out.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a well-loved film.
Yeah,
so it's not as good as Inside Out, but it's still good.
Yeah.
And then, of course, coming at number 6, Animaniacs, Wacko's Wish.
All right.
And because this was my movie, you get to roll. Once I get the dice out of the thing. Number 1. Of course, I closed it. Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. I think that's a good one for us to end our first series of rolls on.
Yes, I would agree.
So, Jacob, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. And also on Facebook, you can find me at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw every day. I don't get to it as much as I used to.
And featured on it right now is Super Saiyan Wolverine.
Yes, I love that comment, by the way. I was like, okay, it's flames, but okay,
I knew it was flames, but when I first looked at it, the thought that crossed my mind was, he just went Super Saiyan. That is scary.
I might actually have to draw that. That'd be hysterical.
Well, Inktober is coming up.
Yes, I might. By the way, Bill, Inktober, I do Inktober for the obviously the month of October. So yeah, definitely look out for that. I'm still looking for a theme, and so if you have any ideas, drop me a line on Facebook.
And speaking of Inktober, your last year's Inktober library is our banner image in Facebook.
Yes, it is.
And on the website.
Yes.
So, just give you an idea as to how good an artist he is if you've not gone to his page yet.
Well, thank you. Where can they find you, Drew?
They can also find me on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. Also, come look at the photos I've taken. I haven't added anything new this week on Drew's photo bin.
Yeah.
But I tend to take some pictures from time to time that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
come look at them.
I would say that we both probably have a few projects that are in the works.
Oh, yes.
And so you might want to keep an ear or, a close finger to your a pulse on what's going on. So we might have some projects coming up in the near, maybe distant or close future.
There's something you've not told me.
No, just be like, there again, be like...
Always, keeping them in anticipation.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, keep your ear to what's going on, because we got a few projects coming out.
Alrighty. Also, you can find us on our website at thecellcastpodcast.podbean.com. If you've not been to the website recently and you're still somehow getting our episodes without being subscribed through our the other ways to get us, you'll notice that now, or maybe you're just a fan, someone's forcing you to listen to this episode for some reason, and you like what you hear, you want to hear more of us. Well, if you go to the website, you will find links to our along with finding every episode to listen to, you will find links to the various ways you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. And there's also a link to our closed Facebook group, the Cellcast.
Yes.
It is a closed group to keep bats with peg legs and broken wings from getting in.
We just want to steal things.
Yeah, we don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
And perhaps Greatest Criminal Minds.
Yeah. Radigan.
Voiced by Vincent Price.
Radigan.
You're one of a kind.
Radigan.
Also, you can email us. I haven't got this on there and I need to. I just remembered this one. But also email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. We do like to read reviews, and as you heard earlier, reviews and emails and any other interesting audience participations.
Yes.
Audience participation opportunities. We do like to read on the show from time to time just to, let you know we are paying attention.
Yeah.
Even when we forget to not look at the right side of the screen when checking stats.
It happens.
And uploading episodes.
And so, speaking of that, so when if you do like one of our episodes, please like it via your podcast directory. Put it on your favorite social media site, your social media, and like it with a friend more or something like that. To get the word out that we're doing this podcast. And should be deeply appreciated.
And please inform us you've left a review.
Yes,
on any of these platforms, because A, obviously I'm bad at checking reviews. B, there's probably more places you can find this than even where I'm aware of, because every time I go to look at the stats, admittedly, while I see Stitcher, and I see Google, and I see iTunes, I also see and I see the Podbean one from listening to on the website, I see lots of different other ones I don't know that people are listening to us through.
Really?
Right. I don't know them all, but there are other apps that you can listen to that you probably use Apple's directory to do it, because I know the podcast program I listen through uses Apple's, despite the fact I'm on an Android phone. But that's all beside the point.
Yeah.
please let us know, because we want to know, and we want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Anything we can do to improve. Because obviously we have to improve. We only got 9 listeners. No, I'm teasing.
Yeah.
But we can always improve on something. We want to improve.
All right.
We want to grow our community as much as we can.
Absolutely.
I believe I have failed to mention that every time you've heard us say the words, the Cellcast, that is with a single L in cell.
Okay. So, also, when it comes to a review, be like, if you, be like, say you listen to this, you listen to our current podcast, and you enjoyed it, go to the Facebook page, post your own personal review of the movie, if you've seen it.
Yeah.
And, let us hear your review of the film.
We want to know.
We'd love to know, and probably we'll read it off in the next episode.
Or at the very least, we can have a conversation going in the group. The more active the group is, the more people we can get.
Exactly.
More people who want to talk, more people who might want to listen.
Yeah.
We might even get people who have no idea what a podcast is, but like Facebook groups, and then they keep getting bombarded with these ads, with me when I put out new episodes. We just want more people.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow, in some way.
Yeah.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Before we end the show. We have hats for sale, technically.
Yes, we do. We still do hats.
We do not have a price yet, I don't think.
Yeah, there's no price.
Because we are waiting on a final count for this first shipment. Mm-hmm. I believe.
Yes.
So please let Jacob know. He's the point man on this particular project. If you're wanting a hat or not. Yeah. I mean, even I have a request in for a hat. Mm-hmm. So, despite the fact that I already have a hat. Yeah. So, yeah. We would like... When are you hoping to get these... when are you finalizing the order?
Finalizing the order will be October 1st.
October 1st. That is so we can get them and get them to you long before Christmas.
Yes. And so be like, yeah, there again, kind of like we both had the same idea of... Be like, if you have a father who likes to wear caps, he might like this one.
You never know.
You never know. So just let me know. Hit me up on Facebook, or hit me on Facebook Messenger, more appropriately, and just let me know. And I'll add your name to the list. And as soon as I get a proper number, I will get a proper price, and then we will go from there. Don't know how we're going to ship these things yet.
Thankfully, a lot of these people who might be interested in that I know are listening are either local or we know them. Yeah. So there is that. But
we do have...
Considering we have a California listener, I seen a download in the UK and in Norway. Y'all might be out of luck. Fair warning.
The shipping might cost a little bit more. I know.
You'll pay for it.
Yeah. I do know we do have one listener in Wyoming right now. Maybe 2 listeners in Wyoming right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, so that listener has requested a hat. So yeah, so we will.
Right now
we have connections with that person.
We have connections, but if we have to ship it to you, we'll have to ship it to you, and probably in that instance, you'll probably get charged for the shipping along with the price of the hat.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
pretty much it.
In the meantime. This has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we will catch you in the next frame.
Bye now.
Bye, Felicia!
It's taken many tries, but I finally caught you, Shaggy and Scooby. Now, you shall face your inevitable demise as this rock slowly gets lowered on top of the pit you are currently trapped in. There is no escape. Unfortunately, while I would love to watch your demise, my plans are currently unfolding to take over or to capture your friends before they escape this island. And you took a little bit longer to get here than I assumed. So, goodbye, my rivals in crime. If you see Gadget in that great something in the sky, tell him I said goodbye.
Reggie, it's getting roasted. sir? What are you gonna do? Man, I don't know. Be like, man, we lost. Game over, man. Game over. And it's like, Reggie, you gotta rap out of it. It's like, Scoob, this is be like, I failed. I failed miserably, man. Reggie, rap out of it. Thanks, buddy. Alright, so how are we gonna get out of here? I don't know, you're Uranus. Oh yeah, right. Like, Scoops, you need to grab that rope with your tail. Really? Okay. It's okay. Pull with all your might, Scoob. Be like, life depends on it. Be like, if we don't, you'll never get a Scooby snack. Scooby snack? Okay. Hey, we did it! Good job, Scoops. Alright, let's go get Dr. Claw. Yeah! We're coming, guys!
Next time on
The Cellcast.
It's a match. We found it.
Yes. The sixth spirit. Your little scene today broke nearly every protocol.
How long do you think this would have survived outside the barrier?
Aki, you know there are elements in the council and military just waiting for an excuse to shut us down.
Look, 20 years ago, who discovered this energy in the phantoms? You. And who proved the same energy source existed in humans and every life form? You. You made it possible to harness that energy for Ovopack, scanners, even the barrier. The council knows that. They trust you, Doctor. We're so close to proving
But we
it.
still need this part, and this one here.
Exactly. 2 more pieces and we've solved the puzzle.
And we need to be free to find those pieces. I want to show you something, Aki.
What is this?
Read.
All life is born of Gaia, and each life has a spirit. Each new spirit is housed in a physical body. Doctor.
Go on.
Through their experiences on Earth, each spirit matures and grows. When the physical body dies, the mature spirit, enriched by its life on Earth, returns to Gaia, bringing with it the experiences, enabling Gaia to live and grow.
It's my old diary. I wrote that 43 years ago when I was the age you are now.
Dr. Sid.
Remember what happened to Galileo? They threw him in jail because he said the Earth was not the center of the universe. That could happen to us. Our ideas are unpopular, Aki. If you have any notes or records that could be used against you, destroy them. Keep them up here.
Right.
And stay away from your friend, the captain. He saves your life, you save his life. This leads to that. I was young once too, you know.
Doctor, there is a war going on. No one's young anymore.